Welcome in and gather round, gang. We've got some more Total War Warhammer 3 news. Just released a video going over the issues with the Tomb Kings and the Tomb Kings and Lizardmen, and they're basically just stopping and not working on campaign. Their AI not working at all. There were several other issues that were going on as well, but that was the biggest one. Things like Ogres, Chaos Dwarves, and several others were also having issues with recruitment, but that was not impacting their game, where they just weren't doing anything. We're just sitting there and letting whatever factions were around them just roll them over. So we've got a blog with both an apology and an update on those. Well, we'll see if this is actually an apology and an update on what they're trying to get those fixed up. So let's dive on in and take a look. Hey folks, we've been investigating the issues affecting campaign AI. I would also like to see, this is a very small side note, I would like to see most of the people involved with the community get the identity politics out of their bios and such. It's time to get back to just making video games. Get passionate about making games, be passionate about Total War, whatever game you are employed with. Let's get that identity politics nonsense out of there and get back to enjoying making games properly. So with that out of the way, let's get back to reading. We've been investigating the issues affecting campaign AI since the release of 6.3.1 and are working hard to restore it back to a better standard. Want to give you an update on why these issues have been occurred and where we are with the progress on fixing them. This doesn't sound like an apology, so we'll see. A hotfix is in deployment. For development, currently its singular focus on campaign AI unit cap recruitment fixes and the bad AI behavior that stems from this issue. You mean the AI not working at all? That's not bad AI behavior, that's the AI refusing to do its job. That's interesting. Hotfix 6.23.2 is presently scheduled for release next week. It entered first phases of our testing earlier today and is showing positive signs of providing an improved experience to the game. We'll see, that's just words. Over the last few weeks, when responding to questions on this topic, we'd originally planned to publish the fix as part of 7.0. Now the investigations have been completed, we're almost there with a fix. It makes sense to decouple it from 7.0 to get it out as quickly as we can. Or there's been a bunch of backlash stemming from Legend and everyone else, basically after he unleashed the stopper, and you guys are panicking. Let's get rid of the flowery words and just be honest. It's kind of silly. The issues with campaign AI are unfortunately complex to resolve. We haven't been able to deliver an immediate fix as we needed to conduct some very thorough investigations to the root causes. We're working as complexity allows. We'll go into that complexity below for those who want the detail. But if you're looking for the headline, we're on it. Okay, interesting. We've heard we're on it so many times. This is one of those times where, okay, so these are great. It's time to show that we're actually working on it. Because we were told for the beginning of 6.3 that, hey, we're working to fix that. And then for this hot fix 6.3.1, they said, oh, we're working to fix that. Are you actually working to fix that for 6.3.2, or is this more words? Let's see if we're backing it up. 6.3.2 aims to address the recent problem that we've seen where factions aren't recruiting units into their armies, and the idle behavior that stemmed from that. The issue with this recruitment has been a highly visible problem since the release of Update 6.3, but this issue wasn't caused by 6.3 itself. We discovered this issue has been present in the game prior to this update, and affects factions with the AI's tasked with managing unit caps. We found that the AI was building lists of units to recruit without taking caps into consideration, resulting in recruitment failing to occur and stalling the AI decision-making process. Yes, this we've seen, but before it wasn't like this. It was just that they were recruiting big stacks of trash, where they were getting a whole bunch of skinks, or nothing but Saurus, or I'm thinking like the Chaos Dwarfs. It would be just squads and squads of Goblin Laborers, because they know they have, or Goblin Laborers, Hobgoblins, that kind of thing, because they know they have an unlimited number of those, whereas they get real weird when the units have caps. So I can see that being the issue. But this is an interesting way of spinning it. Let's see here. Resulting in recruitment failing to occur and stalling the AI decision-making process. Yeah, they can't make decisions at all, just sits in a settlement and gets run over. These issues have been compounded by changes we made to the different resources that are required to recruit units by the Lizardmen and Tomb Kings, and why you may have also seen issues like this happen with factions that use pooled resources like the spawning sequence, meat, Oath Golden Skulls to recruit. Lizardmen and Tomb Kings will still face an uphill struggle in their campaigns when managed by the AI, as they have challenging starting locations. No. See, I'm gonna outright just call BS on this. Yeah, they have challenging starting locations, that doesn't cause the issues with the AI. And there's a really easy way to fix this, and that's just giving them maybe 1 or 2 additional units when they're piloted by the AI. That way they have a chance to fight back. This is not an issue that is caused by the AI not being able to recruit. You don't be having a challenging starting location, that's silly. But they shouldn't be fighting with both hands tied behind their back. This is This is what we call a straw man. For a deeper look at what causes these issues, here's lead technical designer Radislav Bordislav with the detail about how our AI is currently behaving. The way our AI handles unit recruitment occurs over several distinct steps. This is a new writer. One of those steps is selecting a list of units to recruit into a specific force, with the goal of acquiring the necessary strength to perform a task. When the AI is mapping out its shopping list of units that it wants to recruit, unit caps are not currently taken into consideration in a proper fashion. This results in the recruitment action failing as soon as the unit cap is exceeded. So I understand what this is saying, but how? So it is probably saying that if any of your units caps are exceeded, so if you have a single unit that you have too many of, but the lizardmen don't start with any units that they don't have, or like that they can't recruit. So all of those units begin with, I think, 2 or 3 capacity. So I think it's a different issue than what he's saying here, or they're just not able to properly show it, because that's not what's happening. The lizardmen have access to all those units right off the bat. They just don't have the spawning sequence. So maybe they're weirding out because they want to recruit those units but can't. Interesting. Recruitment action and then failure then occurs. Should the AI decide its next task should be to attack a settlement, it's generating a recruitment action and then expecting an increase in force strength to a level where it feels the settlement garrison it's targeted to attack can be defeated. Without the unit recruitment's task successfully resolution, it holds up the subsequent task and leaves the AI in a paralyzed state. It's a cascade of failures that results in certain functions or factions failing to complete any aggressive actions whatsoever. It does. In order to be efficient in how its resources are allocated and spent, the AI relies heavily on several beliefs around the current state of the game world. Some examples of these assumptions of being things like cheapest unit that can be recruited anywhere in the faction, strongest unit that can be recruited anywhere, most cost-effective unit, and then the estimated number of turns to reach recruitment location of the strongest or cheaper unit. Any mistakes when constructing these assumptions has been found to lead to a catastrophic failure in many of our AI systems. If the AI believes a unit is free and provides any meaningful strength increase, it will not allocate any resources to buy units. It wrongly believes it can fill its armies with powerful units for free, and so will pursue that option to trigger a failure cascade. So this is more stemming from it not understanding this new resource is actually a thing, is what it sounds like. So since they think the units are free, they're not even taking the even the canonic jars or any. Well, I guess they don't cost canonic jars; they're all free. Bizarre. I mean, I can see that being a thing for the lizardmen. For the Tomb King's units are all free, so If the cost of a unit is not properly evaluated, the AI finds itself in situations where it's budgeted some money that ultimately ends up being insufficient, causing overspending and then them running into an irrevocable, or at least slow to pay off debt. This is where pooled resources come into play. The AI's ability to understand, plan, and budget pooled resources is not ideal. Lately, AI has not been factoring in pooled resources to its cost properly, leading in incorrect beliefs about what it can and cannot afford, resulting in action failure. These past weeks of investigation have shown to us the majority of our internal systems were unprepared for actions that... I'll reword this. Unprepared for actions that we thought couldn't fail, to fail. The cascading effect led to all sorts of problems. The AI couldn't change stances properly, attacking on campaign failed, recruitment failed, laying siege failed, and so on. We've identified and resolved the leading causes for such failures, but it's very likely there are other cases we're not yet aware of just yet. Resolving the immediately known causes of this problem is helping us to remove any denser levels of fog that might be obscuring other possible causes. As they become known to us, we'll resolve these too. As it stands today, there are around 200 different pooled resources in the game, and they are used in a large variety of ways. For us to be absolutely certain that everything is properly accounted for is a daunting task, but we will continue, daunting or not, it's your job. It's a daunting task for... Anyway, we'll continue working on it and identifying and resolving any issues in the future, and will not deploy this hotfix without careful monitoring of the effect it has. We'll also continue to stay committed to bringing more improvements as necessary. Now, you've got to fix the AI. If the AI doesn't work, people will stop buying the game. That's just how this is going to work. It's already had a pretty huge knock-on effect where just the slowness overall in getting huge issues like this fixed. They keep promising of, oh, well, we see it, we hear you, we're trying to get it worked on, and then they don't. It's starting to pull up for sure, and that's about as far as I'm gonna put on that. News on Tides of Torment will take a back seat until we resolve this issue. That's a very good idea. We're looking forward to giving you your first complete look at this DLC, but fixing this comes first because people can't play campaigns in these areas until this is fixed up. In closing, please accept our apologies for the experience. Here it is. Please accept our apologies for the experience you're currently having with the game. I'll be active across our different community spaces, helping to keep you informed on our progress as we move towards the release of Hotfix 6.3.2. The apology is good. Talking about what they're doing to fix it is good, but I don't see enough of what we're doing to fix it. I see several excuses. It wasn't caused by 6.3. We didn't do this. It's been a compounding issue, but it does seem like 6.3 was the ultimate break on the Tomb Kings and Lizardmen. Because these other factions, they still will play as normal, they don't recruit properly. Not recruiting properly is not as big of an issue as the faction just not working entirely, so we've gotta get this done quick. Alright, I'll cut a little bit of my Durling short and kind of summarize. I do love to see that they've got an apology in here and that they are talking about what they are trying to get fixed up and what they believe the cause is. They don't know what the cause is, but they're trying to work to identify it, which is a good thing. What I'm not the biggest fan of is that we're kind of just throwing out a bunch of kind of excuses and, hey, we're working on it, which I know they have to say something, and like I said, I'm very glad that they've said something here, but people's trust has been eroded a good deal. So words are going to work only ever so slightly to kind of stem the bleeding. It's not going to bring people back on side. It's not going to win their trust back. What's going to win their trust back is actually buckling down and fixing these problems before Tides of Torment. Otherwise, like I said in my previous episode, you're not going to be able to sell someone the base game and DLC if the base game is broken. So you've got to get the base game fixed up, and we can all get back to enjoying Total War and Warhammer as we used to. Thank you all for stopping on by this video. If you have any extra ideas that I may have missed here today, go ahead and throw those down in the comments, or if you just have any thoughts on kind of the overall situation in general, throw those down in the comments and we'll have a discussion. Keep everything kind of civil. We're not here to throw hate around. It's not so much that it's anyone's fault specifically. It's just a corporation and not acting the way that they basically being... what's the word I'm thinking for? Being disconnected with what the fan base wants and trying to kind of sweep issues under the rug while getting more DLC out. It's just what corporations do, but we and you can hold them accountable and force them to fix the game you like. Otherwise, you can stop giving them their money. I have been Space Wizard Total War. Thank you all so much for logging on by. I'll see you all in the next one.